inception, the Sea Around Us mandate has really been to assess global fisheries. And the amount of work that has been done here at UBC and that has been led globally is truly amazing.
This is one of the signature programs that we have that have established UBC in its leadership position in the area of biodiversity and sustainability. And I'm particularly appreciative of the scientific advances that were needed in order to do this, in particular the pioneering use of modeling and large-scale complex data collections that are used to draw inferences that subsequently can have substantial social impact. And I think increasingly this is the level to which we hold ourselves as scientists.
They believe that overfishing is, acknowledging this properly, it would be the road to recovery of the fisheries. So they understood right from the beginning that it won't be possible to do them by themselves. So over the years, they carefully crafted and trained an army of scientists, something around 400 people or 400 researchers, the size of the small battalion, by the way, which consisted of about 1/3 or more than 1/3 of females, by the way, as well. And it's really accounted for by 200. People came from all over the place, from 273 countries to be precise, to conduct these catch reconstructions.
This is my take on reconstructed fisheries. We basically hit peak fish in 1996, and this is underpinned by the data that Daniel and a team of 400 scientists have built through the world, through the years. And when I go to Parliament in Canberra and I say, hey, hello, we're running out of fish, this is what I use. Without sea around us, we can't make change. So every single one of us who uses fish bait, who uses sea around us, has any advocacy, ever touches fish bait and sea life baits, right? We need to support that.
It was actually John Gallen, head of FAO at the time, who quipped at one of these meetings, of the many meetings, saying all that fishery science need to know is the catch, and the catch. And in a way, sea around us have picked up on that. We have heard it in the previous presentations, taking up this challenge to estimate catches of all countries in the world on hopefully all species.
I want our work and with our partners to be guided by the analysis that seas around us can and does generate. The ocean and the people who depend on it need the seas around us more than ever. It is my hope to be able to formalise the relationship in the coming months to one of a close, mutually beneficial partnership between WWF and seas around us. And I want to use what capacity I have and my team has to help raise resources for the seas around us work going forward.
Sea Around Us project led this process of what I call data repatriation and really combing and consolidating all the science and the research that had been done over very many years, over 50 years of research, quite frankly, hundreds of researchers published on this issue, but none of that information was nestled in country or known in country or valued in country.
To congratulate you for something that is even more important than your research. That is because you have been building, for me, an incredible, unique and a structured scientific strategy to tackle, the global challenge we are facing today. And I think that's one, because you are a bit modest in Sea Around Us, but you have been building this incredible strategy, and in fact, something like a new field of strategic research. And I would like to call that that's the conclusion of my talk, some kind of a global sustainability science. And I think that's a major contribution of this 20 years of
If you're me and you have a job of trying to create globally productive oceans, you really need a scientific partner that's got a global perspective. And you need a scientific partner that's taking a systematic view of things and not just falling in love with one creature here and another creature there, or falling in love with this beautiful place here and that beautiful place there. You need a scientific partner that's thinking systematically and analytically about the whole resource. the resource of the global ocean. And guess what? Almost no one does that. And the Sea Around Us project makes it look like it's easy.
The catch reconstruction data, we've used this in general communications, in setting the stage for global conversations. We've presented some of the catch reconstruction data in our individual country offices. This is Daniel at the Luxent in Manila.
The Sea Around Us allowed me to deal with another issue, which is that there is a gradient of research, of access to knowledge that goes from rich to poor. And I had from the 60s and 70s a strong emphasis on the developing world. And while I could not continue to work exclusively on developing countries, I could work globally. And globally at least allows you to work on the developing countries and developed countries. And in the process of working on global issues, we evolved.
When the university turned around and said, oh, we want to increase our exposure to the Indian Ocean as a large-scale thing, that's what we do. Okay, so it was a nice institutional fit there as well. And when I got there, what was really nice is this. And it continues to this day. I have very strong support, and Sea Around Us has very strong support with the Dean and all the way up to the Deputy Vice Chancellor of Research. That is because we go out and do media work when we publish an important paper.
You have the sort of like the network that is now created between fisheries, sea life base, aquamaps, and now the four large databases work hand in hand, basically to give all of these products to the public. So there will be biodiversity, there's fisheries, and biodiversity is covered for all ecosystems.
So we developed computer simulation model. We already have the data infrastructure from the Sea Around Us project. And we are then able to make projections of how global fish stocks are going to be distributed, how that would affect fisheries. This is one of the key, I think, signature paper that we published in 2009 that shows the global redistributions of fish stocks with increasing invasions in the high latitude regions and local extinctions along the tropical area. At that time, people still haven't realized that there will be global impacts of climate change on the oceans and fisheries. I think this really is one of the papers that bring people's attention to the topic.
You say the word globally, Daniel probably pays attention. And so he did what any good quality scientist does. He says, I know how to answer that question. Get a student to do it. It was just about that time that I was angling to become his student, and so fate would have it that he sent me to work on this project, which took several years. But these are the results of a study we published in 2012, which is the first ever global analysis of changing jellyfish populations.
The Sea Around Us data is all around us. So I teach marine ecology and conservation. I use Sea Around Us data every semester in almost every class. If I'm talking about the number of marine protected areas, if I'm talking about fisheries subsidies, of course, if I'm talking about global catch or aquaculture, anything really that I teach in that class comes from the Sea Around Us, so I am completely embedded.
Most scientists in the Med, they use as reference year 2002. And this is because the huge program of data collection started in 2002. But by that time, you see that most stocks were already in a bad state.
If you really want to make this work interesting, lift it to the global level. Do a global study. Sierra Leone will be there, West Africa will be there, but the world will be there, and that will make your work really interesting. And this was amazing. This turned the whole subsidy study around, and that is why I'm not able to be at this meeting. So Daniel, it's your fault. And so I'm here talking with Southeast Asian countries on how to handle subsidies many years after this has done.
Once we are finished completing catch reconstruction and we give our data to the database team, it gets integrated into our database and then becomes available on our website. Many of you have spoken today about various things that you can use our catch data for. I'd like to highlight a couple more that are on our website. For example, you can use our mapping tool in order to visualize where catches are spatially on the world map. You'll soon be able to use Reiner Frose's Catch Maximum Sustainable Yield tool for stock assessment of data-limited stocks. You can track the average marine trophic level over time using the Marine Trophic Index, perform economic analysis using the landed value of the catch through our partnership with Fisheries Group, and many more things.
I can finally say that our reconstructed recreational catch data is now on the FAO website as part of the official statistics for the Bahamas. However, which would have been a happy fairy tale Cinderella story, but however, it seems that there have been a few modifications to our data that we're not sure who made, so we are kind of following up on that end, but our data is there, but in a somewhat altered form, and stay tuned for part 2 of that story. Now, in conclusion, I like to think of my collaboration with the sea around us as a kind of modern-day type of Hemingway novel. After all, we too put the link between the Bahamas and recreational fisheries on the map. But this time, instead of encouraging marine resource exploitation, we simply brought the issue to light and its implications.
For 20 years, the result of 20 years of work led to a real global atlas where every country was represented. And every country was completed by people who are either from that country or from that region. And these people, by coming together, they were able to bring articles that would have been lost otherwise because they are in different languages, they are in regional journals, they are technical papers. I've had people from Iraq even scanning very old documents and sending them over so that we could complete the reconstruction for Iraq. And that is, I think that's incredible.